Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Bluegrass Xfinity Series replay here on Friday night. Glad to have you. I'm Eddie Smith on V-Speed Racing Network. We're getting ready to show you an awesome race at Bristol Motor Speedway. I don't know what happened. I don't know who won, and that's a beautiful thing because I won't ruin it for myself, and I won't spoil it for you as we'll go through it together, and we'll learn who took home the win tonight. We'll get through the grid in just a moment as we try to get the. We'll have to work through this and get this stuff going. It's always kind of funky trying to do it at a replay a little bit later, but it's going to be fun nonetheless. We'll take a look at the standings real quick, and I don't have them for you on the screen, but we'll look at them. And coming into this race, Alex Penn, David Farmer, Jim Ott, Jimmy Allen, Michael Kostick were your top five in points. Then you had Justin Ray, Daniel Cunningham, Tony Iverson, Lucas Lyons, Scott Fritz, Jason Ayerson, and Nicholas Hasia were your final 12. So we're going to see how they all do here tonight and see who comes away with a ticket punch to the next round or some heartbreak, one or the other. All right, well, let's get into the grid, and we're going to just show it. We'll just have to color it out because the grid doesn't like this deal here. But we got Michael Kostick on the front row in that 8 machine. He's going to start next to Jason Ayerson. Jimmy Allen going to start in the 3rd position. Andy Kurtz going to start in 4th. Ben Speed going to start in 5th. Alex Penn starting in 6th position. Jim Ott in 7th. Daniel Cunningham in 8th. Scott Fritz in 9th. David Farmer in 10th. Justin Ray in 11th. 12th is Lucas Lyons. 13th, Nicholas Hasia. Brian Terry in the 14th position. 15th, Tony Iverson. And 16th, Bobby Anderson and Michael Cole. Going to round out your field. As playoffs start to roll, that's exactly what happens. The field sizes get a little bit smaller as really, once you get into the playoffs, it's tough to feel like you have anything to race for. I don't think that's true. I think it's a lot of fun to race in races like this, but it just happens. Guys don't want to mess things up for others, so I totally get it. We're going to fix the output here. I understand it probably looks like dog water right now, so we're going to bump that up a little bit. It should come in a little clear here in just a second. Well, all right, Bristol got 200 laps here tonight. And we got a stage break at 80. So be looking for these guys to be thinking about that stage break. If they've got a yellow banner in front of their windshield, which is pretty much the whole field at this point. There's 17 drivers, but all 12 of them of the playoff drivers are here. So they're going to be paying attention to that. At lap 80, those stage points going to be a big deal. But Michael Kostick going to lead us down to the green flag. It should get the 1 to go here. And, man, we're going to get ready to see some awesome racing at Bristol. Top line, bottom line, which will be the most dominant. As the horsepower goes up, so does the line. The line seems to move up a little bit further. But sometimes this Xfinity car hits just a really nice, it just depends on the weather. There's a lot of things set up. All that will depend on where these guys end up running. So we'll see where these, if the bottom is going to be dominant, is the top going to be dominant, or are they going to be both equally as good? Usually that means the top will be just slightly better. But 200 laps will keep you up to date on the laps as they go. You won't see that on the ticker. But pace car pulls off, and Michael Kostick going to lead us down to the green flag here. Green flag is out as they go down into turn 1. Michael Kostick with a nice jump there on the start, able to clear the 44 there as we'll go ahead and reset everything. That way we get your, for some reason I have to wait until they cross the line the first time and then move this thing back up, and we should get our timing and scoring. Cross the line, though, Michael Kostick is your leader. You see we've got a battle. Oh, caution already out here. See if we got the ticker. And we do. There we go. How about that? Now, as far as what happened, I have no idea. We're still under green, it looks like. I don't know why the yellow flag came out, but we're still under green, so apologies. But, man, we got a great battle back here. This is Jason Arison and Jimmy Allen fighting side by side. You see Andy Kurtz right behind this little bunch. Right now, you can see him on board with Andy Kurtz. You see they're driving and running around the middle line. Seem to be where the speed is at the moment. You see Cossack out there running sort of lower on the track, and I think the bottom is good to save tires. But you see, I think Jason Arison really just trying to defend that position, and that high side makes it very difficult for the low line. As you go down to the bottom, you'll see Cossack. We watch Cossack as he goes down into the corner. He goes right down to the bottom, about half a lane up, and as he comes off the corner, he goes right out to the wall. That's what you need to do to make the bottom work. But if you're sitting here running, and let's say you're almost side by side, well, heck, you need to be able to use the whole track. So that means the top side just naturally is going to be better because it can run similar lap times, and it doesn't have that disadvantage that the bottom does. So you're going to see guys really work that top side as sort of a defense for somebody who may be a little bit faster to go around them. So many things here tonight. I mean, this is the first of this round, the round of 12, so it'll be Bristol and the Roval. And so tonight is a great opportunity for somebody to make up either a lot of points and really get themselves in that top 8, or just win the dang race and find yourself moving on to the next round. On board with David Farmer. That 84 machine as he tries to track down Jim Ott here. Started in the 10th position. Already made up a couple spots here as we move into lap 13 here at Bristol. See, that car, it looks easy. Oh my goodness, he's gonna get really, really loose. Makes contact with the wall. And he's gonna lose a spot to Ben Speed, but you see, I was just gonna sit there and say, it looks easy when we're watching from this camera, but you go on board, you see it is a lot going on as you're trying to keep that power down and not lose the back end. And he gets a little bit loose, corrects it up into the wall, but able to keep going, so. But he doesn't have much time to play around. If he wants to get those stage points, he really needs to be moving forward. I mean, he's second in the points. He's about 12 points back from Alex Penn. So he really needs to get up there and get as many stage points as possible. Right now, he seems like he has a pretty fast hot rod, as he's able to take that spot back from Ben Speed. Front, it is still the same. Michael Kostick, Jason Arison, Jimmy Allen, Andy Kurtz, Alex Penn, Daniel Cunningham, all playoff drivers. Oh, excuse me, all but Andy Kurtz. Tire wear has become a thing that happens to really play a lot into Bristol a lot. You know, and I don't know if that even made any sense, but at Bristol, you really need to pay attention to your tire wear. That's really, really important in Kostick. That's why he's running a little bit lower. These guys running that middle line cuts a nice balance. If you run the top, which, you know, you'll see some guys towards the end of this race, I believe, running up there at the top. Man, it sure is fast, and you can make some passes up there on the high side, but it does wear those tires out, and that right front is your best friend when you need to be able to run that top. You've got to have that right front with as much grip as possible. So you see these guys diving down off the corner, really trying to use that right rear to turn the car more than the steering wheel. And and also an entry, just trying to let it be lax a little bit. But the higher you get up the track, like Jimmy Allen here, they did in that last corner, it heats those right sides up and causes them to wear out pretty quickly. And so if you abuse it, it can really hurt you there. So it's a balance of, all right, I need to make a pass here, like we see the driver's able to do. I need to make a pass. So I'm going to go up to the outside. I'm going to make this pass, and then I'm going to go back towards the middle or to the bottom and continue to save tires. Right now, Andy Kurtz, though, he get up to the outside. It's such a dangerous move to get out. Try to get to someone's right rear quarter panel on exit at Bristol. And you see Jimmy Allen almost immediately. This is the strength of the top side, as he's going to lose one spot to Andy Kurtz. Now one to Alex Penn on the outside in that 30. Blue and black machine, and you see he goes right around. So he's going to want to get up in front of Daniel Cunningham before he loses another spot. That's just the way this works. By yourself, all three lanes seem to work pretty well, but when you're side by side, the bottom has just a nasty disadvantage. And Jimmy Allen going to fall back to the 5th position. And Alex Penn is really coming alive here as he gets to the back bumper of Andy Kurtz. And see Kurtz already running that higher line as we get into this run, 30 laps in at this point. And that's what you do. You run, try to save as much tire, and then once the tires start to wear, you run that top side and you can defend. It's very difficult to pass. So Alex Penn, really his only option is to hope that Andy Kurtz makes a mistake or just ride right on his bumper and try to force him into one. So ride right on his bumper and see if you can get him with the danger of doing that, as well as he gets in the wall and you're right on his bumper, you're going with it. These guys doing a great job. Bristol, another one of those tracks, and I think I talked about this in the truck race, where you just don't have a whole lot of time to react. I mean, if you look at the track information here, you can see the turns are indeed different. Very slightly, but they are definitely different, and you have to race each one differently to be fast. You've got to drive both corners in a different way, and you're trying to get into a groove, but sometimes you can forget what corner you're in and find yourself up in the wall. Continuing to watch this battle. This is a great battle. Andy Kurtz continues to try to hold off Alex Penn, but Alex puts enough pressure that Andy Kurtz says, hey, you seem faster, I'm going to let you go, and he pulls over, lets the 30 go. I think that's a great call. Don't want to put yourself in a position where you get wrecked or turned early. Got 200 laps in this race. Got a long way to go. Up front, it's still Michael Kosick as he leads over Jason Harrison. 1.1 seconds, now 1.2. And he is, I mean, him and Jason are really the fastest cars on the track by about a tenth, maybe a tenth and a half. That clean air just too important. Got some lap traffic coming up. It looks like Nicholas Hacia, last driver in the playoffs, sitting there in 12th. And he is 15th in the race at the moment. Not having the start that he was maybe hoping for here tonight at Bristol. But he's looking smooth, and that car is flying. Him and Ayerson sort of trade back and forth on lap times. Kosick will be a tenth faster than next lap. Ayerson will be a tenth faster. Just depends on the lap right now. He's going to lap around Nicholas Hacia in that 28. Gets by without much issue at all. Go back and look as David Farmer has now moved himself. He got up into the wall, was loose earlier. You see now he's gotten by Jimmy Allen, who's started to fall like a rock. And while Jimmy Allen, really, really fun to watch and fast, Bristol's one of those tracks you just can't be really aggressive on. It requires patience and timing your runs and when you're going to make passes. And I think Jimmy Allen, while he is just so much fun to watch, he's been his sort of MO so far since I've been here is to drive really, really hard early and have plenty of speed, but then start to fall off over the runs. If he could ever lock down that tire saving strategy, I mean, he's a championship caliber driver, but he always seems to fall off at the end of runs. And right now you can see, just look at the run Scott Fritz is going to get on him here. See, just that right front is just a little bit tore up. Right in front of them, David Farmer has already run down Andy Kurtz. So, I mean, it's like David had saved plenty of tire, because he is really picking them up and putting them down. He moves himself in the top 5, trying to get those stage points. We're on lap 46 here. So we'll have the stage break at lap 80. David Farmer now about 5 seconds out of the lead. We'll see if he's able to chip away at that before the end of this stage. But right now he's in pretty good points position. Going to follow Daniel Cunningham as he goes around the lap car Brian Terry. Man, I love Bristol. You know, I know that people don't like the progressive banking change, you know, they did years ago, and they think back to the times of Dale Earnhardt, Rusty Wallace, Terry Labonte, and those times. Wow, those are amazing. You know, Bristol still delivers. It still delivers to watch David Farmer take over that 4th position. But it still is an amazing racetrack. It's just, you know, I think any track would love to have a, you know, 2 different eras where, hey, you've got the low line era, the bump and run era, and now you've got the, you know, you had the high line COT era where just really screaming off the top, the bottom just doesn't work. Now we're in sort of a weird PJ1, whatever they're calling it now, era where they try to make the bottom a lot better. And so both lines are pretty even these days. And so we're almost in just sort of a new era for Bristol. And it's still the greatest Coliseum for sure, and puts on a good show every time that we go there, as long as it's concrete and not dirt. David Farmer continues to really wear them out towards the end of this run. Lap 53 on these set of tires. He's already run down 3rd place Alex Penn. He's made up half a second on the lead. He's definitely faster every single lap. So watching David Farmer here, kind of got lucky after watching him almost wreck, and been able to notice he's been able to just drive right up through the field. Andy Kurtz is starting to fall off along with Jimmy Allen and Ben Speed. Jim Ott, they've fallen back a little bit. Scott Fritz, Tony Iverson. Tony Iverson's probably your biggest mover at the moment in that 24. Did you see Nicholas Hasia make contact with Scott Fritz? Scott Fritz was trying to get around him so he didn't lose that spot. They make contact, and Hasia's in the wall again, almost gets into Andy Kurtz. Hasia just having a terrible time right now, as Jimmy Allen almost gets wrecked by Ben Speed. Got him really, really out of shape. Let's go look at Tony Iverson. I can't see anything because I don't have lives. I know it's not live here. It doesn't tell me everything that it normally does. Let's see. Started 15th, running 6th. So Tony Iverson, man, look at him. A better qualifying effort, and Tony Iverson up there battling for the lead, I bet, because right now he's running just as fast as David Farmer. So he is able to slice and dice this field as well. So, man, Tony doing a great job. I love racing because I love the personalities, and I love iRacing and racing on the computer because it has the same feel as real life, where all these guys have their own personalities, and You know, a lot of times in racing games in the past, there was a right way, and then there was everything else, and so you had to do it a certain way. But it's so cool to see iRacing have the ability for your personality to shine in certain moments. And all these drivers have personalities. Once you get to know them, especially as a broadcaster, a series, you're able to really know what to expect out of some of these drivers and see what plays to their strengths and what doesn't. And all these drivers have specific things about them that maybe make one track, a lot more fun, better for them, one worse. It just depends on how they like to drive and stuff. And this is one of those tracks that really, it rewards patience. It rewards guys who can take it easy on those tires, but also be opportunists where you're able to make moves. You get up to the outside, make a pass, get it done pretty quickly. You don't really have the opportunity to just ride at Bristol. You got to be smart and make moves when you can. You don't want to just sit and ride behind somebody forever. So you have to pick and choose your moments. But when you're not trying to pass somebody, you really got to be patient. I'm not really even sure. Not sure what I'm talking about right now. I think I might just be making all that up. But I really do feel like that Bristol is one of those tracks that at the end of a run, if you're not where you want to be, it's incredibly difficult to make up a whole lot of time when you're trying to pass somebody. You can definitely, by yourself, make up a lot of time by saving tires. But you're going to see right here, I mean, Tony Iverson catching up to the back end of this group. We'll see if he's able to make some passes on the bottom. Michael Kosic's still out to a 2-second lead over Jason Ayerson, who's been able to hold on to that second place position for quite a while. But David Farmer up in the third spot is definitely running him down. Won't be too long we'll be talking about David Farmer and see how he makes passes here. But it looks like he's just, I don't know. It's hard to say. He's been moving pretty quickly. It's hard to say exactly what he did. Just maybe not using the steering wheel as much into the entry of the corner. That'll be a big benefit here is drive down the corner. We'll go on board with Tony Iverson. You'll see that tape right there. You want to turn that tape to about 45 degrees. If you turn any more than that, you're burning them up. And you're going to find yourself really having a difficult time getting into the corner, getting the gas. As he gets right to the back bumper, see if he can make this pass. He's going to dive it down in there. I mean, so far, a lot of the passes we've seen have been facilitated by drivers and not really seen anybody fight for it just yet. And it looks like Cunningham kind of helped facilitate that pass as Iverson just drives right on by. So we saw him. Let's go back here to Andy Kurtz and see what his tape looks like. You see he's putting a little bit more wheel into this thing than what we saw out of Tony Iverson. See how he's putting that tape a little bit further, where Tony was right around 45 degrees. Andy's, maybe in the 50s, 60s. We'll look at Jimmy Allen. See, he's putting that wheel up. So the guys that have fallen back, you can see maybe that's the difference is just how much wheel are you putting in, turn that car, and you can see he's all the way over there. Look how much he's having to put in there. You go up here to David Farmer, who has been able to take over that second spot. Taking it easy. Well, lap 76, just 4 laps to go in this stage, and Michael Kostic currently your leader. David Farmer has driven through the field and is 1.7 seconds back from Michael Kostic here with just a few laps to go in this stage, and he's catching him pretty quickly. I think Kostic had some sort of problem. I'm not sure, but he had a terrible last lap. I think he's just off the pace now. He's losing a ton of time. Oh, he's saving fuel. Oh, interesting. He's actually clutching that 8 machine. Now, why on earth is he doing that? That should be the stage. They're going to come around one more lap. David Farmer about half a second back. I don't think he's got enough to get up there and win this thing, but for some reason, Michael Kostick clutching it. That should be the stage. Yeah, stage yellow comes out. I'm not really sure why Kostick was saving fuel there on that first run, unless he's planning on not taking fuel, because, I mean, I guess you could probably run quite a few laps on fuel, so he might be deciding to come down, take tires, no fuel, and he's saving a little bit to make sure he can make it to the next stop. I don't know. I'm not sure, but Michael Kostick is your stage winner. He'll get those maximum stage points, but David Farmer, man, drove up from 10th to 2nd and was really able to maximize that first stage and seems to have a really, really fast race car, that 84, looking strong. Expect to see everybody come down pit road. Don't want to be the one to get caught out there. Kostick is out of fuel. I do not understand what's going on. He is out of gas. So I am not sure what happened, but yeah, I mean, look at him. He goes, everybody goes around him. He's actually stopped. He's going to have to tow. Michael Kostick tows because he's out of fuel. So a really crazy development. So David Farmer hits pit road, and he will get 4 tires and fuel, and he will likely assume the lead if he can come out of pit road ahead of him. Jason Ayerson going around, make his stop. Yeah, I'm so confused. I don't understand why Michael Kostick ran out of fuel on the first run of this race. That was the first stage. Everybody else made it just fine, but he ran out of fuel. We heard him saving. I have no clue. I've never seen that before in iRacing. I would love to know the answer because that would help me out a ton. Well, let's take a quick break before we go go back to Green Flag Racing. And we'll take a quick break. Be right back. All right, we are back. As you see the green flag come out, and I was able to get some info. Got some of that insider Bob Pockris info, and it seems like you could only barely make it 80 laps. So what happened was Kostic was just driving so hard that he just ran out of fuel, and he thought he could make it. So the other guys who made it, they were able to make the distance by saving a little bit. So people were saving fuel through that whole run. Andy Kurtz was shutting the car off. So something I had no idea about. That's interesting. So apologize about missing that restart, but I wanted to get the full story of what happened. So very, very interesting. Like I said, I've never seen that before. So Kostic had to tow and is now 4 laps down. And Jason Ayerson, who was running second, also had the same problem. He ran out coming down pit road. So the stage break right at the fuel window of running out of fuel. So if you weren't paying attention, which is what happened there, they ran out. So wow, crazy. Well, we've got a battle for the lead though. Alex Penn, Ben Speed out here out front. So now you just kind of wonder, my goodness, we're on lap 93. They see Ben Speed get a little bit out of the groove there, and I had to run down the 30 machine. Yeah, I had to jump over a Discord and try to figure that out, because I was just blown away that Kostic ran out and everybody else was fine, but it just seemed like everybody was saving a little bit throughout that whole run just to make sure they could make it. And Andy Kurtz was talking about how he was shutting the car off once somebody mentioned it just to be able to make it. So really an interesting an interesting stage break adds an unbelievable element to this race that kind of changed the whole thing up. Kostic was really in control of this race, even though David Farmer really run him down. I still think Kostic was in pretty good shape, and now he's effectively out of it along with Jason Ayerson. Michael Kostic all the way back in the 14th position, but he's 4 laps down, so it'll be tough to make that up. Up front, it is Alex Penn with Ben Speed right behind him. And we are almost about to cross over into halfway. You see the difference in lines. David Farmer still running that bottom line. He was so good at the end of that run. We'll see if he can keep that trend up. But I think that bottom line is where you want to be, especially running by yourself. It really saves the tire. Puts a lot of pressure on that right rear from middle off, because you're not able to run straight. You really have to turn the car with the throttle, which I think helps shift that weight towards the back end. Makes it a little bit looser. We already saw him have trouble. He almost get out of shape and get into the wall, but I think it just puts the pressure on that right rear and helps keep those tire percentages even. We've talked about tires quite a bit, throughout the season, and tires really, it's these days all about heat. You don't want to overheat the tire for too long, but there is some gamesmanship that can be done about trying to keep your right front, right rear even, depending on the setup and track. But sometimes you can actually take a setup that, when you go down pit road after a run and percentage on the right front is 5% lower, so it's like maybe 75 and your right rear at 80, you can actually drive the car a little bit harder off the right rear, back up your corner, drive harder off the corner, try to even that up and have percentages that wear evenly. And, oh my goodness, Scott Fritz gets really loose there as he lands into the corner. He gets really out of shape, but he takes over that second spot. There have been times you can go to a track and really burn off the right rear a little bit and make the car looser instead of tight. So there is a little bit you can do there to improve the handling of the car if it's close. Now, sometimes you go to cars and tracks that have where the right front just wears so much more that you really have to manage it a lot more, but it just depends. Going through the field, Jim Mott has made his way into the top 5. He started 7th and really fell back, but I think he was saving fuel. So I think we'll see what these guys can do here. We'll see who's actually got the speed. So far, been relatively no cautions. I mean, look, right now, well, it shows 6 cautions. Oh, this is, well, that'll be the end of the race. I shouldn't have showed that. But here early, it's been relatively clean. Now, only the caution for the stage at this point. On board Daniel Cunningham. He's in the 7th position. Right behind Justin Ray, peeking down to the inside. You see the top side run that you get. But with the banking, man, you just carry so much more speed. I believe this is 31 or 33 degree banking, but it's like Lucas Lyon has had some sort of trouble here. Go back and see what happened. I'm actually scared to go back and see. We're going to do it anyway. Lucas Lyon, Tony Iverson right behind him. Oh, a little tap from the 24, and the 25 goes around into the inside wall. And that is what happened. It looks like Lucas' motor expires. You see that black smoke billowing out the back end of that machine. So disappointing there for Lucas. Uh-oh. Well, and I knew I shouldn't have done that, and that's what happened. So apologize, guys. We're going to get to the lap 100 here. Start this as that kind of screwed everything up. We'll get this thing restarted. I hate it, guys. I know this is not the best, but definitely want to give y'all something to watch, talk a little bit about the race. I know y'all like it. I wish that I could do this better, but fortunately none of this is made to do with replays, and so sometimes I tried to show a replay and I knew I should not have done that. Skipped all the way to the end. Get everything back rolling here in just a second. Get back to your there we go. All right, timing and scoring is back. Sorry about that. Alex being still your leader as we're on lap 104 of 200. Lucas Lyon still in the race, so we backed up just a little bit. This should be where the contact was made. We see it had been brewing for a couple laps here. As this was before the accident happened. Yeah, I'd like to say we're watching a replay, but the whole damn thing's a replay, so. We'll just see, Tony really wanting to get around Lucas. You kind of wonder, well, you've got a whole bunch of track up top. Why not just jump up there and do that instead of, putting yourself in position to make contact? Oh man, Jimmy Allen got really loose. Look at it, he's still burning the rear tires up. But here's where the contact happens. And Lucas Lyon going to go around, and that did bring out a caution. We're going to skip ahead just a little bit. Did it again. All right, we're going to skip forward to lap 118, which should be a green flag here. Just a second. Yeah, green flag is out. You see the 29 out front right now. Gonna reload the time and score. And I think what happened there is because I was trying to forward, but I think Lucas Lyons actually quit out of the race, so when it did that, it goes all the way to the end. So a lot of fun. If I have to cut off ATVO, open it back up. All right, and we're back here. And looks like we got Ben Speed out front with Jim Ott right behind him. As we got a side-by-side battle with Jim Ott trying to go around the outside. And you see, like I said, the outside's super strong. And he's going to be able to make that move. Whoa, as he gets a little bit loose right there, like got real scary. Able to hang on to it. Takes over the top spot. Got a whole cluster of cars here. You see Jimmy Allen. And I don't know what happened to Alex Penn there. He must have had some sort of damage. We may have skipped over a caution. Again, I am sorry. I don't... very difficult to control here. Best that we can. Watch here is David Farmer, Scott Fritz battling side by side. This for the third position as we're getting close to crunch time. 125 laps. A little slide job in front of Scott Fritz. That was a scary, scary moment. But David able to get that spot. He's going to bring the 30 along with him. 30 is a couple laps down. Not a whole lot of time in score, and I can't really tell you about tire strategies and stuff like that, but you can definitely see who is either saved tires or really struggling. Scott Fritz running that top side. Like I said, that top side is fast, and it can do a lot of really fun things, getting those big runs and making moves, but it could also be tough on those tires. That may be what's going on with Fritz there. As he's been running the top pretty much exclusively all night long. But right now, on lap 129, coming to 130, it's Jim Ott, Ben Speed, David Farmer, Scott Fritz, Jimmy Allen, Nicholas Hacia, Daniel Cunningham, Andy Kurtz, Tony Iverson, and Justin Ray, your top 10. Michael Cole, Michael Kostick, Alex Penn, Jason Harrison, Brian Terry, Lucas Lyon, all those multiple laps down, and a lot of them out of the race. This has been a pretty cool season. I really hate that we haven't been able to do these live because I do think these Xfinity races are pretty interesting and fun to watch. The Truck Series has been just a blast to call. So Bluegrass has been a lot of fun. We're moving into the playoffs, about to finish these seasons off and crown champions. And I can't tell you who might be the favorite here in this particular series. I think there's just too many really good drivers to say who is sort of the clear favorite. I mean, as far as wins go, I mean, Alex Penn has been really dominant, but oh my goodness, is Scott Fritz. Oh, Jimmy Allen's gonna lay down rubber as he come off the corner. He has lit those rear tires up, and you can see, oh man, he is struggling. Look how loose that 99 machine is. He's got to let those things cool down after he burned them. You can see the tire marks coming out of behind the car. Have to let those things cool down just a little bit to go back after. Got Fritz now. David Farmer knocking on the door of that second position. Just 2 seconds off the lead here. But talking about points, Alex Penn, this whole season, 16 starts with 5 wins. Man, what an impressive resume. But the last little few races, especially in the playoffs, you know, Alex has been good, but not the dominance that he has seen throughout the regular season. As the playoff really, the intensity always picks up. So David Farmer going to take over second spot there from Ben Speed as the lights start to come on here at Bristol. 140 laps into this 200-lap race. David Farmer looks like the best driver on the track. Now with a couple drivers out, Alex Penn having some issues. I think Jim Ott is pretty good, but because he was definitely saving that first stage. But honestly, I haven't seen anybody be able to do really what David Farmer's been able to do so far, especially towards the long run here at Bristol. So I got to say he's probably going to be the favorite to win unless he gets caught up in some sort of issue. But that 84 machine looks really, really strong and able to drive up through the field multiple times, which is, we've already talked about, really hard to do. But yeah, Alex Penn with the 5 wins, but just been kind of struggling here in the playoffs. I don't know if I'd say struggling, just not the same dominance that he had. David Farmer's got 3 wins. Jim Ott got 2. Jimmy Allen with the 1, along with Michael Kostick and Justin Ray. Those drivers in the playoff with wins in the regular season or the playoffs. But, I mean, it's really hard to say. I think all of the drivers in the playoffs are threats to win it. Watch as David Farmer continues to run. Everybody's sort of spread out at the moment. So just watching as Farmer trying to run down Jim Ott. Jim Ott currently dealing with some lap traffic. That's Alex Penn and Michael Kostick. There's never a worse feeling than seeing, now these two drivers are probably the best 2 you could ever ask for, but it's never fun to be trying to catch the leader and right in front of you got 2 lap cars side by side. That's probably the most frustrating thing out there. But Kostick falls back a little bit, gives way to David. David can keep that number 4 machine in his sights. He's still rocking that bottom line. Seems to be working pretty good for him. We're right at a buck 50. Just 50 laps to go here in this race. Side by side again, Jimmy Allen, Scott Fritz. This time, Jimmy going to go around maybe on the outside, see if he can make that work. Be able to drive right around him. So Scott Fritz continues to fall back a little bit towards the end of this run. Those tires just not agreeing with him at the moment. Like a bad batch of chili or something. Goes around the 29, so both of them just drive right around Ben Speed like he wasn't sitting still. So that 29 he has definitely burned those tires up. Struggling here. Watch his wheel inputs as he goes down in these corners. See if he's having to put a lot more wheel than he'd like to. We got a battle for the lead starting to brew up here in just a second. As David Farmer has caught up to the 4, about 3/10 back. Had a little bit of trouble there. Oh, he's saving fuel. You can hear him do it. So again, we're seeing this fuel saving thing. This is so interesting. I don't know if this is something they've been doing this whole time. I'm not really sure when they went green. Obviously, because my timing and scoring doesn't show that, because they've had to redo it a couple times because of the replay stuff. But I wonder if they need to save to make it to the end. Well, I wonder if Jim Ott's doing the same thing. He's not. So you know they can make it about a little over 80 laps if you save fuel. I want to say we came back right around the 120 mark. Yeah, the caution, so they last pitted it. I'm sorry, but it's to look through the lap times for each driver. But looking at the lap times, looks like they went back green on lap 118. So yeah, I mean, definitely could save some fuel here and make it to the end. So David feels like I'm faster, but I'm gonna try to save and make it on this tank of fuel. I wonder if Jim Ott has figured it out. No, he hasn't. David Farmer clutching it on entry, using a little bit of brake. I mean, he's using his left foot on the clutch, right foot on the brake. Keep that thing from getting out of shape. And you think about how hard this is. I don't think people really realize how difficult it is to transition from, letting off the gas, using a little bit of brake, because you don't have engine braking. That's the big thing. Normally you have the RPMs, the motor, helping slow the car down, but it also helps turn it on entry. If you let off the throttle, the car kind of yanks to the left just a little bit. And so that makes the car, I mean, that's what they're designed to do. And so now he's completely changing it up, because when you push the clutch in, it completely, whoa, as Michael Kostic has a flying by on the outside. But now all of a sudden, everything, the clutch disengages, and it's just everything's running free. So there's no engine braking, nothing helping to turn the car. And you can see how difficult it is for David Farmer to make the entry of these corners. It's just so different. The car just doesn't have that engine braking to help slow the car down. So he's trying to compensate by using the brake on entry to help point the car. When you hit the brake, got more front brake, you hit the brake, it actually helps turn the car a little bit. So he's clutching it, using that brake, and then getting back on the throttle, trying to save enough fuel to make it to the end. Out of all the people I'm seeing, I haven't heard anybody do it. Here comes Jim Ott down pit road, so he can't make it. And did he make it down to pit speed? He was coming pretty quick there, but I think he did make it. as we only have less than 30 laps to go in this race, and your race leader comes down pit road. He cannot make it. But David Farmer still clutching it. And it's a lot. Every time he's clutching him, he's doing it two times a lap. And after 50 laps or so, it really makes it. He's actually cutting the car off, I think. I can't really tell me by his gauges. And this is his replay, so I think he's cutting the whole thing off. He's clutching it, hitting the ignition switch, and dropping the clutch to after turning it back on. I mean, it's impressive. I'm gonna be honest. That's a lot to think about. I think I could do the clutching, but to turn the whole car off on entry, that is impressive. So, I mean, you can see Scott Fritz running him down. And so far, I don't think anybody knows what he's doing. Oh, caution comes out. Caution comes out. I don't know why, though. I don't see anybody wrecking, so I'm not really sure what the caution was for. Maybe Brian Terry. No, I don't think so. Oh, it was Brian Terry. So Brian Terry coming off the corner here, just a lap 161, gets loose and saves it, but then, Go back and watch on the in-car cam, Brian Terry. Loose, saves it. Yeah, those tires were just lit on fire at that point. Trying to get that thing back going and just couldn't do it. So that kind of ruined the whole thing for David Farmer. I think he was going to get him there with that strategy. I mean, he definitely wouldn't be doing it if he didn't think it was working. And who it really hurts for is Jim Ott, who goes a couple laps down. That's the danger of pitting early. It's so frustrating when you're out there, you're running, you go down pit road, and then somebody has an issue. But we're going to skip forward. It's one of those cool things we can actually do. We're going to skip forward to the green flag here, which should be here on lap 182, as they do come down pit road, but we're going to skip forward. Back over to green, lap 183. You see Daniel Cunningham out up on the top side. He is there up in second. And Andy Kurt, Scott Fritz. And look how they ain't saving no more. Tony Iverson's going to go around on the front stretch, and that's going to bring out your next caution. It looks like we have quite a bit of string of cautions here from my point of view, but David Farmer still in the lead here on lap 184. We're going to skip forward again. There's quite a few laps here under caution. We're going to skip forward to lap 190 for the restart. Restart. And look how tight these drivers are, but it looks like caution is out again. I don't know who brought it out. Like Jimmy Allen, maybe. But we are at 10 laps to go, so we will stay here and try to pick up the storylines and get you to the end here. I don't want you to miss too much. We do like the ability to skip through the caution flags, but I know it probably gets confusing. But currently, David Farmer is out front, Daniel Cunningham in second, Scott Fritz in third, Andy Kurtz in fourth, Ben Speed in fifth, Justin Ray in sixth, Tony Iverson in seventh, Jimmy Allen in eighth, Nicholas Hacia in ninth, Jim Ott in the 10th position, 1 lap down. He would like to see another caution that doesn't involve him so he can get that lucky dog. He is the only one lap down, so he should get it if we have another caution. Michael Cole in the 11th position. Alex Penn keeps going after that early issue, running in 12th. Michael Kostick 13th, Jason Arison 14th, Brian Terry 15th, Lucas Lyons 16th. Well, all that fuel saving, all that strategy, all that just kind of goes out the window here. And that's why we love Bristol, because here with just a few laps to go, it is it's pin your ears back and go after them. No more clutching, no more of that. We're just going as hard as we possibly can for the next 7 laps. It's like we'll have, once we go green, we'll have about 4 laps to go. You got to be feeling pretty good if you're David Farmer. You're going to have control of this restart. Be able to get out pretty quickly. And that's such a huge advantage for the leader. Be able to get down in turn 1 and not be side by side with somebody. That's a big deal, especially on these late race restarts where everybody's sort of equal. Nobody's trying to save. Everybody's pushing as hard as they possibly can. That gives you the whole track if you need it. But if you're Daniel Cunningham, you need to get free as well. Try to get single file and start to work on David Farmer. He did good that last restart. We'll see if he can do the same thing here. Here we go, lap 195 coming to 196 out of 200. Who's going to come away with the victory? David Farmer, half a car length out ahead of Cunningham. Cunningham not ready for it. Ball's back to second. Andy Kurtz with a big run. Actually checks up a little bit. They're 3 wide behind him. Oh, that's not going to work. Yeah, the 29, the 38 make contact. Justin Ray. Did they save it? I didn't think that would work, but Justin Ray loses his whole back end, and it seemed like it did not like that. And so I think the caution came out, as Alex Penn may have gone around as well. I'm not really sure. Like I said, I know I keep repeating myself, but if you could see what I'm seeing here on this screen, you know how difficult it is to know what's really going on, because everything's blinking and bouncing around and drivers are going all over the place, and it's saying that people wrecked even when they don't. So, but we definitely know that Justin Ray, man, he is missing his rear bumper, as they were 3 wide there with just a few laps to go, and that's exactly what you expect. I don't expect anything less. There's too much on the line here. Bluegrass, some money league. We ain't just racing for bragging rights here. This is racing. I mean, this is for money. So Jim Ott will get the lucky dog, so he'll be back on the lead lap. And the way this has sort of gone towards the end here, he may have a good shot at improving his finishing position. All right, well, let's skip one lap ahead. Still got another lap to go. This should be a green-white checkered. Wow. All right, we do get the lights out on the pace car, so we will go green here. Green-white checkered here in Bluegrass Xfinity. Who is going to come away with the victory? David Farmer got a great restart last time. Daniel Cunningham about half a car length back instead of even with him. I wonder if he can improve on that and try to get a good jump in that 08. If he can stay beside him, might give him an opportunity to take that win. Here we go. Green, white, checkered. David Farmer again with a great restart. Daniel Cunningham not able to get the power down, so Scott Fritz going to be on his outside. Cunningham gets a good run through the corner. He's going to be able to take over that second spot. Can he do anything with it? One more lap to go. White flag is out, and here comes Cunningham down to the inside. Oh, he almost makes contact. He drove it really hard into the corner, and he's not going to be able to do it. Coming through 3 and 4, David Farmer, no contest. He's going to come off the corner. Checker flag. And see some people wrecking behind it. Tony Iverson crashed at the start-finish line. He did cross the line at 7th. And maybe a little extra there from Jimmy Allen. Let's go back a couple laps. I think I'll be able to do this and see what happened between those two. The watch right here is a replay of the replay. Jimmy Allen going to get almost turned there. He goes down to the corner. Now Jimmy Allen's trying to chase that thing. And, man, Tony Iverson just drives through the 99 machine. That's likely where that irritation was coming from. But David Farmer takes the win. Drove all the way from 10th. Got those stage points early on. And then it's going to take the checkered flag and take home the win at Bristol. And he can go to the Roval next week, and he doesn't have to think about it at all. So, pretty good race. I mean, I'm not thrilled with how the broadcast is gonna look and how it probably watches. Yeah, I had some issues, but like I said, do the best that we can for these replays. I keep making excuses, but I'm sort of embarrassed about the quality. It's really tough to do, but see Justin Ray burning them down. We got that 5th place position, and David Farmer burning them down on the front stretch. Let's take a look at the results. David Farmer, Daniel Cunningham, Scott Fritz, Andy Kurtz, Justin Ray, your top 5. Jimmy Allen comes home in 6th. Tony Iverson comes home in 7th. 8th is Ben Speed. Jim Ott in the 9th position. Nicholas Hacia in 11th. Alex Penn able to make up a spot. Michael Cole in 12th. Michael Kosick in 13th. Jason Ayerson 14th. Brian Terry 15th. Lucas Lyon 16th, and Bobby Anderson in 17th. Well, all right. Well, that is all for this replay. Thank y'all for watching. Hope y'all enjoy some of it, but if you're David Farmer, you probably do for sure, as he's going to do a little Polish victory lap, missing majority of his rear bumper. As Barney's still waving the checker flag there. He's just getting with it. He's trying to get him some overtime. Well, all right. Well, congratulations to David Farmer, all the top 3. And I think where are we headed next week? I hope at some point we get a live broadcast for y'all. But if we're doing a replay again next week, it'll be at the Charlotte Roval. So that'll be fun. And then we start round 3, knock it down to 8 drivers. Have Darlington, Martinsville, and the champion who will crown at Homestead on November the 6th. Well, anyway, thank y'all so much for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.